Om Sri Lakshmi Narsimhaya Namaha. Prasna Upanishad. Om, O gods, may we hear auspicious words with the ears while engaging in sacrifices. May we see auspicious things with the eyes while praising the gods with steady limbs. May we enjoy a life that is beneficial to the gods. May Indra of ancient fame be auspicious to us. May the supremely rich or all knowing Pusa, that's God of the earth, be propitious to us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, be well disposed towards us. May Brahaspati ensure our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace. Chapter 1 1. Sukesa, son of Bharadwaja, Satyakama, son of Sibi, the grandson of Surya, born of the family of Garga, Kausala, so of Aswala, a scion of the line of Bhrigu, born in Vidarbha, and Kabandhi, descendant of Katya. All these who were devoted to the inferior Brahman, engaged in realizing the inferior Brahman and intent on a search of the supreme Brahman, approached with fagots in hand the venerable Pipalada with the belief, this one will certainly tell us all about it. 2. To them the seer said, live here again for a year in a fitting manner, with control over the senses and with brahmacharya and faith. Then put questions as you please. If we know, we shall explain all your questions. 3. After that, Kabandhi, descendant of Katya, having approached him, asked, Venerable Sir, from what indeed are all these beings born? 4. To him he said, the Lord of all creatures became desirous of progeny. He deliberated on past Vedic knowledge. Having brooded on that knowledge, he created a couple, food and prana, under the idea, these two will produce creatures for me in multifarious way. 5. The sun is verily prana, and food is verily the moon. Whatever is gross or subtle is but food. The gross, as distinguished from the subtle, is certainly food of the subtle. 6. Now then, the fact that the sun, while rising, enters into the eastern direction, thereby it absorbs into its rays all the creatures in the east, that it enters into the south, that it enters into the west, that it enters into the north, that it reaches the nadir and the zenith, that it enters the intermediate points of the zodiac, that it illumines all, thereby it absorbs all living into its rays. 7. That very one rises up who is prana and fire, who is identified with all creatures, and who is possessed of all forms. This very one that has been referred to is spoken of by the mantra. 8. The realizers of Brahman knew the one that is possessed of all forms, full of rays, endowed with illumination, the resort of all, the single light of all, and the radiator of heat. It is the sun that rises, the sun that possesses 1,000 rays, exists in 100 forms, and is the life of all creatures. 9. The ear is verily the lord of creatures. Of him there are two courses, the southern and the northern. As to that, those who follow in that way, the sacrifices and public good, etc., that are products of action, conquer the very world of the moon. It is they who come back. Since this is so, hence these shears of heaven, who are desirous of progeny, attain the southern course. That which is the course of the mains is verily food. 10. Again, by searching for the self through the control of the senses, brahmacharya, faith, and meditation, they conquer the sun by proceeding along the northern course. This is the resort of all that lives. This is indestructible. This is fearless. This is the highest goal. For from this they do not come back. This is unrealizable to the ignorant. Pertaining to this, here is a verse. 11. Some talk of the Son as possessed of 5 feet, as the Father, as the constituted by 12 limbs, as a full of water in the high place above the sky. But there are though these others who call him the omniscient and say that on him, as possessed of 7 wheels and 6 spokes, is fixed the whole universe. 12. The month verily is the Lord of all creatures. The dark fortnight is his food, and the bright his prana. Therefore, these shears perform the sacrifices in the bright fortnight. The others perform it in the other. 18. Day and night are verily the Lord of all creatures. Day is surely his prana, and night is certainly the food. Those who indulge in passion in the day waste away prana. That they give play to passion at night is as good as celibacy. 14. Food is nothing but the Lord of all creatures. From that indeed issues that human seed. From that are born all these beings. 15. This being so, those who undertake the well known vow of the Lord of all creatures beget both sons and daughters. From them alone is this world of the moon, in whom there are the vows and continents, and in whom is found for every avoidance of falsehood. 16. For them is that taintless world of Brahman, in whom there is no crookedness, no falsehood, and no dissimulation. Chapter 2 1. Next, a scion of the line of Bhrigu, born in Vidarbha, asked him, Sir, how many in fact are the deities that sustain a creature? Which among them exhibit this glory? Which again is the chief among them? 2. To him he said, Space in fact is this deity, as also are air, fire, water, earth, the organ of speech, mind, eye, and ear. Exhibiting their glory, they say, unquestionably, it is we who hold together this body but not allowing it to disintegrate. 3. To them the chief prana said, Do not be deluded. It is I who do not allow it to disintegrate. By sustaining it, by dividing myself fivefold, they remained incredulous. 4. He appeared to be rising up from the body out of indignation. As he ascended, all the others too ascended immediately, and when he remained quiet, all others too remained in position. Just as in the world, all the bee take to flight in accordance as the king of the bees takes to his wings, and they settle down as it does so, similarly did speech, mind, eye, ear, etc. behave. Becoming delighted, they began to praise prana. 5. This one, that is prana, burns as fire. This one is the sun. This one is cloud. This one is Indra and air. This one is the earth and food. This god is the gross and the subtle, as well as that which is nectar. 6. Like spokes on the hub of a chariot wheel are fixed on prana, all things, riks, yaju, samas, sacrificer, kshatriyas, and brahmana. 7. It is you who move about in the womb as the Lord of creation, and it is you who take birth after the image of the parents. O Prada, it is for you who reside with the organs that all these creatures carry presents. 8. You are the best transmitter of libation to the celestials. You are the food offering to the mains that precede other offerings. You are the right conduct of the organs that constitute the essence of the body and are known as Atharvas. 9. O Prana, you are Indra. Through your valor, you are Rudra, and you are the preserver on all sides. You move in the sky. You are the sun, the lord of all luminaries. 10. O Prana, when you pour down as rain, then these creatures of yours continue to be in happy mood under the belief. Food will be produced to our heart's content. 11. O Prana, you are unpurified. You are the fire, Ekarsi. You are the eater, and you are the lord of all that exists. We are the givers of your food. O Matarshva, you are our father. 12. Make calm that aspect of yours that is large in speech, that which is in the ear, that which is in the eye, and that which permeates the mind. Do not rise up. 13. All this in this world, as also all that is in heaven, is under the control of prana. Protect us just as mother does her sons, and ordain for us splendor and intelligence. Chapter 3. 1. Then Kaushalya, son of Aswala, asked him, O venerable sir, from where is this prana born? How does he come into this body? How again does he dwell by dividing himself? How does he depart? How does he support the eternal things and how the physical? How does he support the external things and how the physical? 2. To him he said, You are putting supernormal questions, since you are the preeminent knower of Brahman. Hence I speak to you. 3. From the self is born this prana, just as there can be shallow when a man is there, so this prana is fixed on the self. He comes to this body owing to the actions of the mind. 4. As it is the king alone who employs the officers saying, Rule over these villages and those ones, just so prana engages the other organs separately. 5. He places apana in the two lower apertures, prana himself issuing out of the mouth and nostrils, residing in the eyes and ears. In the middle, however, is samana, for this one distributes equally all this food that is eaten. From that issues out these 7 flames. 6. This self, that is the subtle body, is surely in the heart. There are 101 of the chief nerves. Each of them has 100 divisions. Each branch is divided into 72,000 sub-branches. Among them moves Vyana. 7. Now, then Udana, when it is in its upward trend, leads to a virtuous world as a result of virtue, to a sinful world as a result of sin, and to the human world as a result of both. 8. The sun is indeed the external prana. It rises up favoring this prana in the eye. That deity, that is, in the earth, favors by attracting apana in a human being. The space, that is air, that is within is samana. The common air is vyana. 9. That which if well known as luminosity is udana. Therefore, one who gets his light extinguished attains rebirth together with the organs that enter into his mind. 10. Together with whatever though he had at the time of death, he enters into prana. Prana is combination with udana and in association with the soul, leads him to the world desired by him. 11. The line of progeny of any man of knowledge who knows prana thus sustains no break. He becomes immortal. Pertaining to this, there occurs this mantra. 12. Having known the origin, coming, lodgment, and fivefold overlordship, and the physical existence of prana, and one achieves immortality. Having known, one achieves immortality. Chapter 4. 1. Then the grandson of Surya, born of the family of Garga, asked him, O adorable sir, which are the organs that go to sleep in this person, which keep awake in him? Which is the deity who experiences dream? To whom occurs this happiness? In whom do all get merged? 2. To him he said, O Gargya, just as all the rays of the setting sun become unified in this orb of light, and then disperse from the sun as it rises up again, similarly all that becomes unified in the high deity, the mind. Hence this person does not then hear, does not see, does not smell, does not taste, does not touch, does not speak, does not grasp, does not enjoy, does not eject, does not move. People say he is sleeping. 3. It is the fires, that is the functions resembling fire of prana that really keep awake in this city of the body. That which is this apana really resembles the grahapatya fire. Vyara resembles a fire. Anvaharanya pachana. Since the ahavanya fire is obtained from grahapatya, which is the former source of extraction, therefore prana conforms to ahavanya because of its issuing out of apana. 4. Samana is the priest called Hota. because it strikes a balance between exhalation and inhalation, which are but comparable to two oblations. The mind is verily the sacrificer, the desired fruit, Udana, which leads the sacrificer every day to Brahman. 5. In this dream state, this deity, that is the mind, experiences greatness. Whatever was seen, it sees again. Whatever was heard, it hears again. Whatever was perceived in the different places and directions, it experiences again and again. It perceives all by becoming all that was seen or not seen, heard or not heard, perceived or not perceived, and whatever is real or unreal. 6. When the deity, the mind, becomes overwhelmed by solar rays called bile, then in this state the deity does not see dreams. Then all the time there occurs a kind of happiness in this body. 7. To illustrate the point, as the birds, O good looking one, proceed towards the tree that provides lodging, just so all this proceed to the Supreme Self. 8. Earth and the rudiment of earth, water and the rudiment of water, fire and the rudiment of fire, space and the rudiment of space, the organ and the object of vision, the organ and the object of hearing, the organ and the object of smell, the organ and the object of taste, the organ and object of touch, the organ and content of speech, the hands and the object grasped, sex and enjoyment, the organ of excretion and excreta, the feet and the space trodden, the mind and the content of thought, understanding and the content of understanding, egoism and the content of egoism, awareness and the content of awareness, the shining skin and the object revealed by that, prana, and all that has to be held by prana. 9. And this one is the sheer feeler, hearer, smeller, taster, thinker, ascertainer, doer, the Purusha, pervading the body and senses, that is a knower by nature. This becomes wholly established in the supreme immutable self. 10. He who realizes that shadowless, bodiless, colorless, pure, immutable attains the supreme immutable itself. O amiable one, he again who realizes becomes omniscient and all illustrative of this. There occurs this verse. 11. O amiable one, he becomes all knowing and enters into all, who knows that immutable wherein merges the cognizing self, the Purusha who is naturally a knower, as also to the organs and the elements together with all the deities. Chapter 5 1. Next, Satyakama, son of Sibi, asked him, O venerable sir, which world does he really win thereby? Who among men intently meditates on Om in that wonderful way till death? To him he said, 2. O Satyakama, this very Brahman, that is known as the inferior and superior, is but this Om. Therefore, the illumined soul attains either of the two through this one means alone. 3. Should he meditate on Om as consisting of one letter, he becomes enlightened even by that and attains a human birth on the end, the Rik mantra leading him to the human birth. Being endued there with self control, continence, and faith, he experiences greatness. 4. Now again, if he meditates on Om with the help of the second letter, he becomes identified with the mind. By the Yajur mantra, he is lifted to the intermediate space, the world of the moon. Having experienced greatness in the lunar world, he turns around again. 5. Again, anyone who meditates on the Supreme Purusha with the help of this very syllable Om, as possessed of 3 letters, becomes unified in the sun, consisting of light. As a snake becomes freed from its sloth, exactly in the same way he becomes freed from sin and is lifted up to the world of Brahma, that is Hiranyagarbha, by the Sama mantra. From this total mass of creatures that Hiranyagarbha is, he sees the Supreme Purusha that penetrates every being and is higher than the higher one, that is Hiranyagarbha. Bearing on this, there occurs 2 verses. 6. The 3 letters by themselves are within the range of death, but if they are closely joined one to another, are not divergently applied to different objects, and are applied to the 3 course of action, eternal, internal, external, internal, and intermediate, that are properly resorted to, then the man of enlightenment does not shake, that is, remains undisturbed. 7. The intelligent know this world, that is attainable by the Rig mantra, the intermediate space achieved by the Yajur mantra, and that which is reached by the Sama mantra. The enlightened man attains the threefold world through Om alone, and through Om as an aid, he reaches that also which is supreme reality, that is quiet and beyond old age, death, and fear. Chapter 6 1. Then Sukesha, son of Bharadwaja, asked him, Venerable Sir, Hiranyagarbha, a prince of Kosala, approached me and put this question: Bharadwaja, do you know the Purusha possessed of 16 limbs? To that prince I said, I do not know him. Had I known him, why should I not have told you? Anyone who utters a falsehood dries up root and all. Therefore I cannot afford to utter a falsehood. Silently he went away riding on the chariot. Of that Purusha I ask you, where does he exist? 2. To him, he, Pipalada, said, O amiable one, here itself inside the body is that Purusha, in whom originate these 16 digits or limbs. 3. He deliberated, as a result of whose departure shall I rise up, and as a result of whose continuance shall I remain established. 4. He created prana. From prana he created faith, space, air, fire, water, earth, organs, mind, food. From food he created vigor, self-control, mantras, rites, worlds, and names in the worlds. 5. The illustration is this: just as these flowing rivers that have the sea as their goal get observed after reaching the sea, and their names and forms are destroyed, and they are called merrily the sea, so also the 16 parts, that is, constitutes of all seeing Purushas that have Purushas as their goal, disappear on reaching Purusha, when their names and forms are destroyed, and they are simply called Purusha. Such a man of realization becomes free from the parts and is immortal. On this point there occurs this verse 6. You should know the Purusha who is worthy to be known, and in whom are transfixed the parts like spokes in the nave of a chariot wheel, so that death may not afflict you anywhere. 7. To them he said, I know the supreme Brahman, thus far only. Beyond this there is nothing. 8. While worshipping him, they said, you indeed are our father, who have ferried us across Nisines to the other shore. Salvation to the great shears. Salvation to the great shears. Om, O God, may we hear auspicious words with the ears. While engaged in sacrifices, may we see auspicious things with the eyes. While praising the gods with steady limbs, may we enjoy a life that is beneficial to the gods. May Indra of ancient fame be auspicious to us. May the supremely rich or all-knowing Pusa, god of the earth, be propitious to us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, be well disposed towards us. May Brahaspati ensure our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace. Here ends the Prasna Upanishad, included in the Atharva Veda. Mantrahina, Kriyahina, Bhaktihina, Kshimapate. Om se Krishnarpadamastu.